YouTube, what's good, man? This your boy Swain. I am back with another video, man. I missed y'all for real, man. I haven't posted in 2 months, just had some things in my life that I had to make sure I capitalized on, man. And, I had to take a step back to really focus and for the good, not for the bad. It's actually been good things that have been happening. But, guys, I'm back through my little hiatus, man. I took like 2 months off of doing YouTube content, but I had a lot of guys DM me on Instagram, comment under my some of my previous content about how to deal with the mental stresses of the drama that they're dealing with their baby moms, mainly being pushed out of the lives of their children. Okay, so if you are one of those guys, this video is for you. This video is going to be about how to deal with being pushed out of the life of your child, how to deal with it mentally, how to deal with it physically. What should you do as a man to be in the best position in the long run if you are, in fact, dealing with this situation, unfortunately. Now, what makes me equipped and what makes me a great candidate to talk about this is because I've dealt with it, guys. I have a 11-year-old daughter, well, she will be 11 in a couple of months. And I've dealt with this, okay? And I was able to deal with it and put things into perspective because of these three things. So these are the three things that men should do if they're dealing with a woman who is painting them in a bad light in front of their children, making it hard for them to see their children, just doing things to slowly push you out of the life of your child, all right? So the first thing first, guys, is keep lines of communication open. Now, what do I mean when I say keep lines of communication open? Sometimes, guys, we may, date women who do not have their child's interests at heart as best as she should, or the way that she should as a mother. So sometimes what they will do is they will make it seem as if you don't want to call your child. You may be calling the mom, especially if your child's young, don't have a cell phone yet. You calling the mom, she not answering the calls, she's not responding to the text. But maybe for months straight, you've been trying to reach out to your child and talk to your child, but she'll say, "Oh, your daddy don't want to talk to you," right? Guys, it can be easy to get mad and block your baby mom and say, "You know what, I'm just not going to deal with it." But you got to think about the way your child would perceive that. Your child is so young, they're not going to understand why daddy blocked mom. All they're going to see, and this is how your child is going to perceive it: daddy blocked me and mom because he doesn't want to deal with us, right? So the best thing for you to do is never get into your feelings and block your baby mom, right? It's basically essentially the same thing you do when you're dealing with a girl who maybe, broke up with you, or maybe who, rejected you, or you got mad at her and you block her. See, that's you being in your feelings with that woman. And what that does is it further turns that woman off. So the same rule applies, guys. Don't block your baby mom, because I promise you eventually she's going to call you. And you don't want to give her that small little leeway to say, "Hey, your daddy blocked me," then show your child, and all your child is going to see that daddy had us blocked forever. It may just be that one time they call and daddy had us blocked, so that's why he hasn't been talking to me. And children are very impressionable, especially, and they live with the mom, right? So they're going to side more with the mom. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep your lines of communication open, guys, meaning that, hey, always be available if your child want to talk to you, right? Never let it be your wrongdoing for the reason you don't talk to your child. Put it back on the mom. I called you. I text. Your mother never responded. Never let it be you block them, because it's just not going to fare out well for you guys. And as men, we got to understand that we cannot operate within our feelings and our emotions, because it's just not of a man to do that, right? You got to be almost so unbothered. Most things should not be able to fuck with you. It takes a whole lot to offend me. I wasn't always like that, but I worked on it. And I think that's a skill that men should adopt, because you will fare out better in life, all right? The next thing is, guys, put yourself first. You still have a life to live. I had a guy reach out to me and said, hey, he felt like giving up in life. He doesn't know what to do no more. He said he doesn't really feel like he has a purpose to live anymore. I know this is going to sound fucked up, guys, but your child is not your purpose. Your child is part of your legacy. Let me say that again. Your child is not your purpose. your child is part of your legacy, guys. So when you have a child, especially a son, he carries on your last name, which gives your legacy another chance to live, and so on, right? But in order for you to be an effective father, in order for you to be a father that can have a foundation to give your child, you have to be on your game, which means all your I's must be crossed and all your T's, well, your I's must be dotted and T's must be crossed. But if you're feeling like you have nothing to live for because you don't talk to your child or your baby mom is making it hard for you, then you have given up on yourself. Listen, guys, baby mama drama is just another obstacle in life. It's not the end all be all. Don't allow your baby mama drama to cause you to get the short end of the stick in life. Let it be motivation. Let it be fuel to become better. You know what I'm saying? I took that time that I first processed what I was dealing with, because it did get to me at first, but I use it as fuel. I started hitting the gym. I started working on myself. I started finding a purpose. I started finding things that I cared about that defined my character as a man, and I just used it as fuel. Because one thing we must remember is that the tables will always turn, fellas. And when that table turns, you want to make sure that you have done everything you needed to do, so when it is your turn to actually play your cards, you can play them right. And what a lot of guys do is they prematurely give up on their life because the drama that they get with dealing with their baby mom. And I'm telling y'all, it can be frustrating. It can be hard. You know, this is something that a lot of guys I feel are afraid to even talk about, bro, because they don't want to seem weak. They don't want to seem emotional. But at the end of the day, you are still a man. You are human. You have emotions. It's just that you want to be able to deal with your emotions, not wear your heart on your sleeve, and be able to process what's happening to you. And I always tell you guys, it's not what happens to that man that determines who he is. It's how he responds to what happens to him. And it's easier said than done. You're going to have your days, bro, but make sure that you put into perspective that you still have a life to live as a man. And your child is not your purpose. Your child is just part of your legacy. And that's something that we've been taught that's also wrong when it comes to men being men. Oh, my child, I got to live for my child. Well, motherfucker, if you don't have shit, there's nothing you can give your child. So there's going to be a time in your life as a man where you must be selfish in order to achieve and accomplish things. There's a story of a guy, bro. I can't think of his name right now, but I'm going to probably do a video on it, where this man took a hiatus from the world and spent 10 years in the wilderness. He didn't deal with anybody. He documented everything that he endeavored. He documented everything he did, his emotions, his feelings. He literally built a world for himself in the wilderness. And he documented that. But what I got from that is that he went through a period of being idle. He went through a period of focusing on himself. He didn't worry about what wasn't right. He didn't worry about what he didn't have. He just dealt with what life was giving him. Because at some point as a man, bro, everything around you has to die. And this is very selfish. The women in your life aren't going to understand it. Your family may not understand it. Your children may not even understand it. But what they will do is appreciate it later, because everything falls on a man at the end of the day. You know, of course, your woman will be there to help you when you know you need it. But at the end of the day, when it's time to face judgment, your family will only go as far as you go as a man. That's why you're the head of the household. And so if you don't plan right within your life, and if you don't do certain things, guys, guess what? It's still going to be bad for you at the end of the road. So don't allow this drama to cause you to feel as if you don't have a life, as if you don't have a purpose. You got to keep that, you know, at the forefront, guys. So what if you don't talk to your child for 3 months? As long as you know that you are putting in the work and the effort, and remember that line of communication, keep it open. You ever heard of an open door policy? That's what you want to have with your child's mom and your children, an open door policy. As a man, you can never be too mad, too sad, too hurt to not have that door open, because you are the father. You are what your child leans back on. Even if that child may go 5 years without talking to you, at some point, that apple is going to return to the tree, bro. And you just want to make sure that you're ready for it when it does happen. This is my opinion. You know, I'm not trying to give you all any type of advice to call gospel, but I'm telling you what has worked for me, which is why I think that, you know, I'm a good advocate for this topic, because I dealt with it. So, you know, hey, I just like to talk real shit, bro. And the last thing is, you will always be the bad guy. Just keep that. Just make sure you know that. It doesn't matter what the fuck you do. a lot of women will never appreciate the good you do, but they will only focus on the negative. You could do 10 good things and do one negative thing. That's going to be how she determines how she's going to deal with you. Because women are very emotional. So what hurts them the most is what they going to fucking pay attention to. Now, a lot of women will say, oh, that's not true. Just look at their actions, bro. A lot of time what they say do not match up to their actions. I don't pay attention to what women say. I pay attention to how they move and what they do, because that's where the truth lies. And that is the same way you must, interact with your child's mom, right? You just got to understand that most of the time she'll always label you as the bad guy. And the reason I say always is because if that child resides with the mom, that child is going to follow what the mother does. So if the mother says you're a deadbeat, the child is going to view you as a deadbeat. If the mother says, hey, your dad doesn't want to talk to you, your child's going to say, hey, daddy doesn't want to talk to me. Although the child's mom's not telling that kid that she blocked daddy for 5 years, didn't return any of your text messages or your phone calls, but portrayed it to the child as if you just didn't want anything to do with them. There are so many women who do this. My uncle found out when he was, I want to say he was in his, because my uncle just turned 70 a couple months ago. So he found this out about 7 or 8 years ago. So he was 61, 62 years old, that he had a 40-year-old son. His son didn't like him for it. His son resented him for it. His son was angry at my uncle for something he had nothing to do with. His mother told my uncle that he did not have a child, that the child was not his. So he went on with his life. 40 years later, that child is left to deal with the actions, the selfishness of the mother. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? She painted him as the bad guy. So my uncle had to deal with that backlash. But as a man, you just have to understand, you have to process in your mind, hey, I'm going to more than likely be the bad guy in this situation, although it may not be true. But I'm going to tell you what's going to be even more fucked up. If you allow that situation to beat you, you don't improve. Like, I had this thing that I do with myself. Every year I try to get better in something, whether it's working on my physique, my fitness, my finances, maybe it's, learning something new, taking on a new skill, I try to become a better edified man every year. And even though it may seem like it's not much, but at the end of the day, right, when you look at the total score, it's all going to add up. And that final picture is going to be a successful, edified man. And that is the goal, guys. So you just have to understand these 3 things. All right. So just to recap, keep all lines of communication open. Open door policy with your baby mom, with your child, no matter how mad she makes you, as long as it's not causing you to be in jail. Now, if it's causing you to be in jail or anything like that, or if it's something toxic like that, you just need to abort the whole fucking mission. OK, don't allow this woman to put you in a position to where your life is fucked, right? Because a lot of men are in jail behind toxic women and decisions that they make with women, because a woman can literally determine what your legacy will be. That's why it's very important that you choose one that is of an asset to you guys. Luckily I deal with one who's very, very, much so of an asset in my life, bro. So, you just kind of make sure. That's why I say vet women. Don't just date her because she fine. Don't just date her because she fuck you good. Or you think she suck you up good. Because I know that WAP 3000 is fire. But look, sometimes, the chick ain't worth it, bro. So your sexual urge is something, man, that you really got to learn to fight as a man. And, that was one of our biggest obstacles as well, because I told you life's about obstacles and overcoming them. It's not about being happy. It's not about, the success. It's about overcoming the obstacles. That's what life's about. You're going to have way more obstacles than success, but the success feels really fucking great because you went through so much to get there, right? So what I'm saying is that those are one of the biggest urges that we got to be able to overcome as a man, is our sexual desire for women who may a lot of times be demons in our life, right? So, like I said, keep all lines of communication open. Put yourself first. You still have a life to live. Do not allow this obstacle in your life, because that's what I'm going to call it, make you feel as if you're not worth it as a man, guys, because you fucking are, okay? And I told you, men are different than women. We peak at a way later date in life than women do. Women will peak in their fucking 20s. A man will not peak until he's in his 40s. So what I'm saying is that you could totally suck at 33 years old as a man, and at 43, you be the fucking man. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I'm going to do another video on that too and go a little deeper. So keep all lines of communication open. Put yourself first. You still have a life to live. And the last, you will always be the bad guy. If you can remember these three things, put them into perspective and place them in your life where you see fit, you will be able to deal with the fact that you have a baby mom who's trying to push you out the life of your child, because these three things will allow you to put things into perspective, and in the long run, it'll fare out better for you, man. I hope you all got some type of value from my content. I will continue to keep bringing you all videos. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this for fame. I really just want to add value, because as a man, we're supposed to build. We're not supposed to fucking destroy. But that's it for the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, man. Until next time, peace.